I'm Anil Kumar, and here is a multiple choice test question on finding domain of the composition of functions. Given f of x equals to 1 over x minus 1 and g of x equals to x plus 2, determine the domain of f of g of x. We are given 4 different choices. I'd like you to pause the video, copy the question, solve, and then look into my suggestions. Now, I've seen some students who will just jump into conclusion, and since f of x is 1 over x minus 1, then option A, which is x is not equal to 1, seems to be just the right option, right? So they'll make A as their choice and move on, but that will be a wrong answer. Let me show you how. Let us first find f of g of x. So we have f of, and let me write within the bracket g of x, right? So we have this function to calculate. Is that okay? So f of g of x is actually f of g of x is given to us as x plus 2. So we have x plus 2 here, right? Now if I substitute in f of x x plus 2 for x, then what do I get? So I get this as equal to 1 over, so I'm substituting x plus 2 in here, right? So we have x plus 2 and we already have minus 1 there, minus 1. So that is equals to 1 over, so what we get here is x plus 1. So this is the function which is f of g of x. So what you get here is f of g of x as equals to 1 over x plus 1. Now that is your function. So what is the restriction? So from here it is very clear that x is not equal to minus 1. That is the restriction. So the correct answer is option C. Now some students have confusion that they think that f of x is not defined for x equals to plus 1 and f of g of x is not defined for minus 1, so they go in for this answer, but that is going to be incorrect, right? Now you can yourself check that if I substitute x as equals to 1 here, I do get a value which is 1 over 2. So for this combination of function, the domain really comes from g of x, right? And its range, then the range of g of x becomes domain of f of x. So therefore, you need to work it out and then find the answer as we did in this particular video. So remember, the answer for this question will not be A or it will not be B, but is going to be C. So that is very important to understand before we go into further details on composition of functions. So domain is kind of a very critical thing. I hope with this video your concept about domain is absolutely clear. Thank you and all the best.